Welcome to another great episode. We have another great guest for you. We have Justin Roberts here with us. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
So Justin, tell us a little bit about you. How long have you been in the industry and what got you in it?
Interesting question. I've been in the industry, I would say full-time about 2 years. I've had my license for 3.
Okay.
But initially I got my license for something totally not related to real estate. I was running a marketing company at the time, and we wanted to provide a service for real estate agents to help them to get leads. And we wanted to make it a win-win. And so my initial idea was, well, we'll just take a cut of whatever they close. That way, nothing up front, they don't have to worry about it. And the more that I learned about all of the rules and regulations, I realized you can't do that. You have to have a license to be able to take a percentage. Right. So my solution was, all right, I'll go get my license and still run a marketing company. The marketing company, that whole thing, it kind of went away. We decided to dissolve it, but I had my license and I looked at it and said, it might be fun to give it a shot, and so went full time with it, and here I am.
Awesome. So is your, expertise in marketing, is that kind of the long haul of what you've been doing?
I'd say yeah.
Okay.
It's marketing and marketing automation.
Okay. So how have you been able to translate that over into your business model now? What's that look like for you?
So, it really has helped a ton, because in terms of getting new leads to come in, I know that's one of the hardest things that you can do.
Right.
But for me, I've been able to just kind of hit the ground running. We initially started, I partnered with a lender, and we started doing simple things. We did first-time home buyer seminars, where we'd go through what the buying process looks like. And so we'd bring people in, sit them down, explain everything, and at that point, we've established ourselves as the expert.
Right.
So I actually got quite a few buyers from that, and started to get my first few deals that way. And then I was running Facebook ads and Google ads as well, and I was able to get more leads that way, and just have been able to continue to find people to help and then get referrals from them as well.
Okay, so your marketing plan is working for you. Good.
It's doing all right.
That's good. It's good. So tell me, when you were kind of on the peripheral of the business with your marketing business, what, misconceptions did you have then that you've kind of realized now? What's been your challenge? What's been the challenge for you?
That's a good question. There's a few of them. One of them is I thought real estate was easy.
Even as being peripheral?
No, when I was on the outside, I looked at it and you open doors, you write contracts. How hard can it be?
Right.
Didn't realize how much went into each and every transaction, right? And then the other one was just, I thought that converting leads was easy. I figured I send you somebody with their name and email, like, why wouldn't you sell them a house?
Right.
And didn't realize how many people are hitting each buyer and seller, and how much timing is involved,
right.
and just tenacity too.
Definitely. What have you been able to do to, since you understand that timing and all that is important, what have you been able to do to keep in touch with people or to separate yourself from everyone else who's calling?
So something that I do is I've got a system in place that helps me to kind of automate my one-on-one interactions.
Okay.
So especially with new leads when they come in, you've got to hit those right away. Right. If you're not on the phone, texting or emailing them within 5 minutes, you probably lost them. I realized that I wasn't going to be able to do that all the time. Sometimes you're on a listing appointment. Sometimes you're, showering, hanging out with the kids, whatever it is, right? And so I was able to put a system in place so that every single lead that came in gets a text and an email from me within the first 5 minutes. And then from there, obviously I'm trying to give them a call. I'm trying to build that rapport and that connection. But if I'm not able to, we're still able to have our system in place where it will hit them, a couple times a week for the first few weeks.
That's good.
That helps.
That definitely, okay, makes sense. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that. So prior to you getting in the industry and doing marketing, what was that the dream of yours growing up, or what were you doing before then? What did that look like?
The dream growing up, man. So I was a weird kid, not gonna lie. In 7th grade, I was in a a class where I learned the word entrepreneurship.
Okay.
It was the first time I'd ever heard that. I wasn't really into foreign languages or anything, so they said, it's French. I'm like, forget it. That's not going to be my thing, right? And then the teacher said, well, an entrepreneur is someone who's their own boss. I was like, ooh, maybe that is my thing. I think I like that, and it just resonated with me.
Okay.
So I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I didn't want to be working for somebody else. I knew that I wanted to control my schedule, be able to have a life balance, and have a little bit more control generally.
Makes sense. Okay. So you've been you're doing your own thing your whole life then?
Out of college, I worked for a company. I did the corporate thing for about 5 years, but left, pretty quickly in the grand scheme of things.
Makes sense. So growing up, then, doing all the little different things that you did, what do you think would be the most unique way you've made money or earned any kind of a living?
Unique way that I've learned, I don't know, man. I haven't done anything super unique.
That's okay.
Even as a kid, I always had little ventures I was doing.
Okay.
In high school, I found a realtor that was doing a lot of flips, and so I decided, hey, you don't like painting? Let me be your painter, and I hired out my buddies, and we went and we painted their houses. Made, I thought, good money. I look back on it now and wish that I had someone that would paint my houses for that amount.
Makes sense.
But yeah, just little things. We used to sell lemonade on the corner, your standard entrepreneur kid thing.
Right. Just trying to do your thing, trying to be your own boss.
Just trying.
Okay. So what do you think would be the greatest lesson your parents share with you, mom or dad? What is something that sticks with you? You can just hear it.
My dad was really, he was strict in a good way. He always wanted to make sure that I had a plan. He always wanted to make sure that I was always giving it my best. So I grew up in sports.
Okay.
I was not the most talented person, but he instilled in me that it doesn't matter how much talent you have, it matters how hard you work. And so, you always got to show up, and you always got to make sure that you give it your best effort. And if you do that, then things are either going to work out or they're not, but you'll never have to hang your head and wonder,
Makes sense. Okay. Did you grow up here?
I did.
Okay. What sports were you playing at the time?
So my favorite sport growing up was football.
Okay.
And then I got into junior high where it was more the organized sports, and I was a whopping 77 pounds in junior high. So football was not going to be the path that I was going to take. But my dad wrestled, and I looked up to him, respected him, so I figured I'd give that a shot, and fell in love with it. So I wrestled from 7th grade all the way to my senior year.
Okay. What do you think will be your greatest regret if you have one? Is there a thing like that in your life?
I'm sure there's plenty of them. I try not to think about them too much.
Is there something you want to redo? You're like, man, I wish I could just...
I don't know. I feel like you learn something from everything that you go through. Mm-hmm. I don't have any real big regrets where I'm hitting my head against the wall wishing that I, maybe Bitcoin. I'll say that. I wish I would have known about Bitcoin earlier, but it's nothing like that I look back and I'm super, depressed or sad about.
Okay.
So yeah.
What do you think you're most proud of then?
I'm most proud of my family.
Okay. Why family?
My kids are the best, man.
Okay.
I've got 4 little ones. I've got, my oldest is 8 all the way down to a 2-year-old.
Okay.
And just watching them grow up and watching them just blossom into their own personality,
right?
It's fun.
Right.
They're all good kids. They're all hard workers, and they all give me a hard time. So it's fun.
It's good. So what do you think if I could interview them, what would they say you're always harping on? Like, Dad's always talking about this.
Be nice to my brother and sister would be one of them. And just treat people right. We always try to instill in them that you gotta treat people the way that you want to be treated. Makes
sense. All right. Simple, golden rule, right?
Yeah.
Simple.
Not so simple, right?
Yeah.
It's the thing that we all need to work on.
Right. But yeah. Do you get to read much? Are you a reader?
I love reading.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there a favorite book that you either like, hey man, you should read this, or you revisit often?
The one that I started with that kind of got me into And all the reading that I do is business books. My wife thinks I'm totally boring. But Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I think anyone that's gone into business for themselves has or should read that. And then How to Win Friends and Influence People is a good one. But the one that I've liked most recently it's by, his last name's DeMarco. It's called Unscripted.
Okay. What about that? What stuck out to you in there?
Man, we go through this life and we're told this is the script, like go to school, get good grades, go to a good college, work really hard until eventually you'll be able to retire. And he basically just says, yeah, forget all that crap, man. Like, you need to figure out what you want in life and you need to create a plan for that. And then you just need to work towards it and not let anything get in your way.
You know, I love that stuff, and because I have 4 kids as well, and my wife and I were always trying to, instill in them not the things that we got instilled, like money doesn't grow on trees. Yes, it does. It's paper. What are you talking about? Like, hello, right? I mean, that's false, right? And so just little simple things like we noticed that we were doing that early on in our marriage to the kids, like there's no money, but we've broken those. And just trying to explain to the kids that, life can be whatever you see, whatever you want to be. But have you been able to, correct that in yourself and with your kids?
I love that because, and with my kids, we're working on it, right? And I'm still personally working on it. But a fundamental change that I've been trying to make the last 10 years is instead of we can't afford it, it's how can we afford it? How can we make this happen, right?
Right.
Anything that you want to do, if you're dedicated enough, you can figure out a way to make it happen.
This is so true.
It's something that, it's a struggle because it's ground into you. Hey, make sure that you're saving, right. don't spend money on.
Go to school, do this,
all
those things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. It's having faith in that stuff that it actually works and it can work for our children but yeah, you just gotta move forward and do it, right?
Well, and sometimes there's rough roads before you get to it too.
Very true, very true.
You gotta put in the work.
Very true. I appreciate you sharing that perspective. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. That's kind of questions I had for you. It's been great chatting with you and just getting some perspectives that I appreciate it. But where can the audience find you, and what's your email and phone number? How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so you can go to my website. It's NHE Team. My phone number, this is my cell phone. Feel free to call, text. It's 480-313-0329. And then my email is just justin@nheteam.com.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
My pleasure, man.
Thank you.